my brain is not having a time. You know, I'm gonna do these in order this time just because. What is up, bookish besties? So today we're going to talk about my January wrap up. Listen, I filmed this already like 2 weeks ago, and then I was finally getting around to editing it, and I hated the way I filmed it. So this is a new and improved version. I hope so. I think so. And this time I'm actually going to go in order of the books that I read in the month of January, because it'll help me collect my thoughts a lot better than I did in the video before that I recorded. Also, I have already read how many books in February? It's like February 16th today. I've already read 4 books in the month of February. So let's get into my January wrap up. First, we have Humbled by David Mathis. This was a short read. I read this in about 1 to 2 days. This book is just about humbling yourself in the way that you live and the way that you pursue God. And I found this to be very beautiful and very helpful in my walk with Christ. So I highly recommend that if you want to be more humble in this new year, read this book. It'll help you a lot and understand more about what the word humble means and how to humble yourself. Pick this up if you want to be read, like physically read, because mentally, physically, and emotionally, I was shocked. Next, I read One Transforming Love by Erin Elise Q. I think that's how you say her name. This is a Christian romance, and it's also based off of her life, her true story. And I found this story to be absolutely breathtakingly beautiful. I loved Aubrey. I loved reading about her growth in Christ and also her personal growth, and just how God's love conquers all, and really that all you need is God's love to be truly fulfilled, but also to know that God has the person that he has planned for you when he gives you the right person at the right time. It is an absolutely beautiful story. I think I gave this book a 4.5 or 5 stars. I do not remember at this point. I honestly would give it a 5 stars because I still do think about it. Oh, and also I forgot to say, I do not rate nonfiction. So yeah, I did not rate that book, but I really enjoyed it. Next is Sex, Purity, and the Longings of a Girl's Heart by Kristen Clark and Bethany Bale. That's how you say it. That's that. I read this book actually right after, because this book referenced one of their other books, and I read this in high school and I really enjoyed it. The problem is I did rate this in high school, and now as a more mature adult, no, I'm not mature, but I am technically an adult legally. I really did enjoy it. I tabbed the crap out of it. I took a lot of notes on postcards. Are they postcards? Index cards. It gave me some really helpful verses and everything to save. This is something that I recommend for women who are new in their purity journey, and also if you just want a boost in your purity journey, I think this is a good book for you. It doesn't give a lot of like tools to combat lustful thoughts and stuff like that. It's more of just stories, and there are some, like it's not like there isn't. But I think this is a really good book, and I really enjoyed it. Yeah, I also used to watch them on YouTube. If you know, you know. Girl Define. If you know, you know. And then I have 2 more physical books, and then the last 6 are either ebook or audiobook. I'm going to skip to the next physical book, which is A Lady's Guide to Marvels and Misadventure by Angela Bell. This book I loved. It took me a long time to get really into it though, but once you get into about the halfway point, I really picked up this book. I read this for my church's book club. I started a book club at church with my pastor's wife, Lindsay, and I love the group that we have. It's beautiful, and I can't wait to watch it grow in the new year and in a new season. But I really enjoyed this book. So it follows our main character, Clara, and her ex-fiance is a jerk. I've already talked about this book before, so if you see me talk about this book on other videos, yeah, I've already explained the premise, but I'll give you a short thing. She just wants to protect her family, and this guy comes along named Theodore, and he starts working for her grandfather, and she doesn't trust many people. Now her grandfather goes missing on his flying owl, and they have to go on a journey to find him through a scavenger hunt. And I loved this premise. I found it to be beautiful. I love the cover. I say that every time I talk about this book. I gave this book a 4.5 out of 5 stars. It is a Christian historical romance with, there's no magic in it because it's an owl machine, but it feels magical without being magical. I don't know if that makes any sense, but highly recommend this book if you want a little historical romance and just cute banter. I love it. And listen, Clara, I tell you what, it's an enemies to lovers for her. He does not see her as an enemy at all, and she is like, enemy, enemy, enemy. And I'm like, calm down, child. It's okay. You're fine. Then the last physical book I read was Live by Sadie Robertson. I've had this book forever. I got halfway through it. Oh my goodness. I got halfway through this about like 4 years ago. When did this come out? I don't even know. I decided to re-pick it up. I started it from the beginning and I read it in like 2 to 3 days. I really love the way she writes. It just brings me so much joy. I've been watching her and her family for years, and this book, the title does this book justice. Like, I loved the way that she explained how to live life and to live life in the fullest in God and his peace and his joy, and not to take anything for granted. And yeah, I really enjoyed this book. I cannot wait to read more. I have read one of the other I think it's Live Original that I've read. I think there's one more, but I don't even know how many books she's written. I need to look that up. But yeah, I love Sadie Robertson. Now let's get into the audiobooks and ebooks that I have. The first one is an audiobook. It's Tidewater Inn. It's the first book in the Hope Beach trilogy. I think it's a trilogy by Colleen Cobble. So this book, you follow a woman named Libby. She finds out she inherits a hotel on Hope Beach from her father, who has passed away. She did not know him really. Like, he left when they were young. Well, she was young because she's an only child at this point. And she finds out that she has siblings. She has this whole other life that she didn't know about. Her mom is passed and gone. After she found out, her assistant or friend that she works with was already at Hope Beach looking at a property, because they work in property. I can't remember exactly how they do it. Oh my gosh, what is it? They do historical stuff with buildings. I don't remember exactly what that job's called. And while she is talking to her best friend on the phone, watching the camera of the beach, because her friend was on the camera, her friend gets kidnapped in front of her eyes, and she has to go, and she's trying to find her best friend. But also there is a subplot of romance with the Coast Guard. I love him so much. And these are Christian fiction, so they are clean. There's no language, there's no spice, it's just clean subplot romance. It's not the whole story. The mystery is really the big part of these books, and that's what I think I really enjoy, because I love romance, but I love the mystery. And when you can put both together, oh my gosh. I gave this book a 4 out of 5 stars. I loved this book. Highly recommend this trilogy. I only have one left. I read the second one first, which is probably a no-no, but it's okay. It's fine. It's okay. Next, I read a little short story called When Forever Comes by Tawny Shush. I don't know how to say your last name, but I really want to read one of your other books soon. I have it on my Kindle. I gave this story, I'd say I'd actually bump it down to a 3 instead of a 3.5. I thought it was really cute, and I really liked the premise, the second chance romance, and it was also like a billionaire romance. I feel like it was too quick. Since it was really short, there wasn't enough time to develop the relationship as much as I would have liked to seen. Was it fun to read? Yes. I read it in like a couple of hours. I just sat on my Kindle. I was like, I ate it up. But it was too fast-paced for me. Personally, I feel like it just needed to be longer and more explanation within the couple, because it felt like they just met and they got together, back together, after they haven't seen each other for years, and they didn't really go through much to get to the point where they were at. But overall, I think it's a cute read, just like if you want something fast-paced and you need a short read. Next, oh my gosh, I was not expecting to love this book as much as I did. The Mafia Boss and the Christian Girl by Nicole Lamb. Listen, I gave this book, I think, a 4. Yeah, I gave this book a 4 out of 5 stars, because when you think of a mafia romance and then a Christian, you don't think it goes together, but it was witty, it was funny, the banter was awesome. I loved the romance. I loved the character growth within all of the characters, like, because you're following different perspectives throughout the whole book, and I love, 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 love the lead mafia man. And like, is it the best written book? No. But it is so much fun for me to read. I loved it. I didn't care about any plot holes. I didn't care about anything. I just enjoyed it so much. And even if it did have any plot holes, I can't think some of the reviews said it did, and I don't remember them being a lot. If there is, my brain, it didn't even, because I was just having so much fun and enjoying this read. So yeah, I do recommend. These books are all Christian nonfiction and Christian fiction, by the way. If you haven't noticed, I did a fasting in the month of January, so I could only read Christian and non-Christian books. No, Christian and not. I could only read Christian fiction and Christian nonfiction. That's what January was about. Then last but not least, these 3 books. I read Flawless last year and I really enjoyed it, but there was a lot of spice in that book series so far in the first book, and it just wasn't really for me. Like, if you took out the spice, it still was a good story. It had a good plot and I really enjoyed it without it, but I wanted to find a cowboy series that was clean, had no spice, and I found a Christian cowboy romance series. I kid you not, I'm giggling and kicking my feet throughout the whole thing. I read 3 of them in like the span of 5 days. I loved it. So the first one is Remembering the Cowboy. The second is Charmed by the Cowboy. And the third is Mistaking the Cowboy. My mom's walking. So Remembering the Cowboy is a childhood and second chance romance with amnesia plot. Like, there's a lot going on there, but it was fantastic. I gave that one a 4 out of 5 stars. I think I would even bump that up to a 4.5. I loved it. Next, the second one, Charmed by the Cowboy, I gave it 5 stars. I gave it a 5 stars immediately after I read it. The main lead, Maddie, she comes back to the ranch after years of not being there. She fell in love with horses. Barreling. Oh no. Is it barreling? Did she do barrel racing? I think she did barrel racing, but I could be wrong about that information. The main male character, oh my goodness, he's a horse person too, and it's just so cute. And I was a huge fan of Heartland. If you know what Heartland is, you know, you know. That book really just made my heartstrings pull, and you're really seeing the growth of Maddie's character because she has a lot of trauma with her family that she's gonna have to give to God. And I just can't. It's so good. It was so good. And last but not least, the last book of the 3 that I read, the Mistaking the Cowboy. So apparently one of the older brothers was on a dating app and he met this girl, and she and him had been texting for like, I think a month, but I could be wrong. So this woman decides, hey, I'm going to go to his ranch because they have like a bed and breakfast, and she was going to surprise him. And I thought it was really, really cute because like, you want to meet this person that you're texting, right? And he had sent a photo saying that he was in the red shirt. He wasn't the one in the red shirt. His brother was. So she has been fantasizing over his brother and not him because she thought it was a completely different man. When she pulls up, she has the bright idea, okay, I'm gonna lay one on him. And she kisses the wrong brother. I tell you what, I almost peed myself. It was so funny to see the romance between the wrong brother that she was thinking. It was so funny and so cute. And it worked out in the end. Like, as you know, romance, it works. It works. I just love also all of these relationships are God-fearing. God is the center of their relationship. How they build each other up with the word of God and the love of God. It's just a beautiful representation of a Christian romance. I love it. I cannot wait to finish the rest of the series. I have on my Kindle all 6 of them like on one little digital file. So you best believe I'm gonna be reading those soon. I'll just tell you, I'm not gonna give you like a synopsis or anything about the books that I've read in February so far. I'm just going to tell you the titles and then I'll give you more of my review later on in the month once I finish my wrap up for February. So the 4 books that I have read so far this month is Part of Your World, Yours Truly, and Just for the Summer by Abby Jimenez. And then I also read The Cheat Sheet by Sarah Adams. I am hoping to finish at least 8 books a month. So I am only 4 books behind, which I think I can do that. I think I can do that by the end of February, please, for the love of God. I also had a TBR video planned and then I didn't get to film it yet. And I've been so busy. I started school. So I'm hopefully going to get around to editing this and then filming the other video soon this week. But yeah, guys, that is my January wrap up and some of the books that I've read in the month of February. I also have a book haul that I need to film. Oh my gosh, there's so much that I need to do. But I love you guys. I hope you had an amazing January, even though we're halfway through February. I love you so much and happy reading.